everybody, Sam Strains here, welcome back to the Railway and welcome back to another Thomas and Friends review. Now it seems ages since I've done any Thomas and Friends videos because of Diesel Month, I suppose, that got in the way a little bit. But we're back again now with Duck, very lovely little Great Western pannier tank duck. Now I don't really know too much about the modern show because I tend to watch the sort of more model episodes because I like models, of course. But yeah, I haven't heard a lot of Duck recently. Is he not in the show that much anymore? I'm not 100% sure, but got the model anyway, so hopefully you're going to enjoy looking at him today. Right, now before I get started I want to make a tiny little announcement because I'm starting to get quite a few messages about this. I don't know why, it's probably just that time of year, isn't it? But yes, there is going to be a giveaway this year and it's going to be quite exciting, I hope. I don't want to give too much away about it just now, no pun intended, but it is going to be bigger and better than last year. So if you would be interested in entering that, just make sure you're subscribed and keep your eyes and ears open, and you shouldn't miss anything on that. But yes, very exciting and hopefully it'll be good fun. Anyway, let's get to Duck then and see what he's like, shall we? Now, yeah, of course I have now unboxed quite a few of these Bachmann Thomas and Friends models, so I'm not going to spend any time talking about the blister packaging because you've probably heard me talk about it a few times before and I don't want to repeat myself. So I'm going to get straight to getting Duck out then, shall I? And yes, of course I have had Duck running once before in a running session, so he has of course been out of this packaging before. So yes, I did my sneaky business of just cutting a little hole in the back of the packaging so that he can slip out. So I'll try and do that now. It's a little bit awkward, but it's quite a nice way of preserving the packaging if you decide to do that. Okay, so there he is in his little tray. I'm just going to grab the paperwork. I know us kids don't really look at paperwork all that much, but the information sheets are quite interesting. So here's Duck's. This is the first time I've actually seen it. You can see all of his bits there, and his face, which looks a little bit on the scary side. It's all dark for some reason. But there we go, yeah, very useful if you ever need to fix him. You can see all the parts there, and I suppose you could get those from Bachmann if you wanted to. But let's get Duck out then. Here we go. Let me see if I can grab him. There he is. Yep, not too heavy this one, quite noticeably. He's a little bit on the light side. And I've also noticed, I don't know if you think the same, but the wheels seem to be very, very tiny on Duck, don't they? I'm no expert whatsoever on Thomas and Friends, so I don't know how they look in the show, really. But I have seen quite a few pannier tank models, and I don't remember the wheels being as tiny as that, but I might be wrong, who knows. But there he is anyway, look at that. He's a nice guy, isn't he? Look at his face. Very lovely model, and I'm going to review this up close in just a second. But first of all, here's one or two shout-outs and also a little bit of Duck's history for you. So here we go. Hello to Ben Drifter 1, Jack Plays and Jonty Marsh 04. Thank you very much for getting in touch and I really hope you enjoyed the video as well. So as you might know, Duck's real name is actually Montague and he got his nickname thanks to his slight waddling when running at high speed. Though I must admit I've never seen him waddling, so maybe that was just made up by the other engines to tease him, I'm not sure. He was built in 1929 though and was based on the Great Western 57XX pannier tank. He's been known to work with two auto coaches called Alice and Mirabelle, but I think those were just in the Railway series, weren't they? As well as slip coaches at times as well. I think that was on TV, wasn't it? Duck is a very efficient engine who always likes to be on time, and he's also very proud of his heritage on the Great Western Railway, claiming that there are two ways of doing things, the Great Western way or the wrong way. I guess he likes doing things the Great Western way, doesn't he? He's generally a very friendly character who gets on well with most of the steam engines, and he's always willing to stick up for his friends. Duck is still alive, but he doesn't appear in Thomas and Friends too much these days, though he is 88 years old, so perhaps he can't work like he used to. So there he is then, good old Duck against the white background, and I must say there seems to be a bare minimum of detail on this one, but once again, as I always say, it doesn't really matter all that much, as long as they look vaguely like their characters, which he of course does, and as long as they're fun to play with, which of course he will be. Now I'm going to get onto the detail in just a second, but I will show you his face first of all. Now I think about it, seeing it close up, those spiky eyebrows and his big cheesy grin make him look a little bit mischievous, don't they? I didn't have him down as a particularly mischievous guy, but I don't know, maybe he's just having a bad day. That Bachmann blister packaging doesn't look very comfortable, so I don't know, that could be it, but don't worry, I'm throwing that away, Duck, so you don't have to go in there again. But yeah, as I say, the detail is kept to a minimum. especially above the tanks up on the top, as you can see. Very little moulding up there, although you do seem to have what I assume are supposed to be the caps where you would put the water in. They have been separately fitted. Of course, you don't put the water in the model. I think if you did that, he would never quack again, to say the very least. But in real life, of course, that's where the water would go to fill up the tanks. Of course, no cab detail with this one. It is just a filled in blank space, and possibly part of the mechanism might be in there, I'm not too sure. But as you can see, you have got all of the separately painted handrails and of course his number 8 on the side of his cab there. He has, of course, got the GWR logo on the side, which of course stands for the Great Western Railway. Very nicely applied, of course. But apart from that, there's not an awful lot more to show. You have, of course, got the coal, which is nice and shiny, as it normally is from Bachmann. Makes it look a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? And I'm also pleased to see that he has his painted whistle just in front of the cab there, which is painted gold. That's very nice. Of course, everything else is exactly as it needs to be. You've got fairly basic little buffer beams there with a separately fitted coupling hook. And of course, you've got the standard, well, they're not the standard Bachmann couplings. They're sort of more like the mainline ones, but they do the trick very nicely. So that is Duck. As you can see, it is fairly plain, but as you can also tell, it's probably supposed to be that way. So I'm not going to talk about him an awful lot more because I know we all want to see him run. So come on then, Duck, let's get, I think we'll give you some auto coaches for old time's sake, shall we? And see how he gets on with them. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so there he is then, Duck down onto the track, and you can just tell by his face how excited he is to be running for you all. So he's going to be doing that in just a second. He's about to be coupling up to these auto coaches, which I'm going to call Alice and Mirabelle just for today. I know they're not the Great Western colours, but they are from the Great Western Railway anyway. So nonetheless, let's get Duck started. Now, the one thing I have noticed about Duck's performance is that he's absolutely brilliant. He definitely doesn't waddle or quack or anything like that. It's just such a good performer. So let me give him a little bit of slow speed. He's parked right on an express point where he is now, so this ought to be a good test for him. Turning the power up. Just look at that for a slow speed. I mean, this is supposed to be a toy. Absolutely fantastic. Really is, and of course his eyes do work as well, so he does look left and right while he's running. Look at that, fantastic. I can't fault the performance. Well, I can a little bit because he's a touch on the light side, which means he can't pull very much. And also he's a little bit noisy at those higher speeds, but that's very minor, isn't it? I mean, that's not a lot to complain about. So I think he's got to be the best Bachmann runner I've had yet from the Thomas range. So go on then, Duck, go and couple to your coaches, see how you get on. Whoa, steady on, Duck. Right. There we go, is he in shot there? Yep, just about. Okay, I'm going to get him going in just a second, but there are going to be lots of green engines out on the layout today. I'm going to run 2 of them, so I'm going to give you those, but see how many you can count in total, and I'll put a little poll up later on so you can answer. But for now then, let's get Duck started. Okay, so the first of those green engines is going to be Percy, because I've not run Percy for a little while, so here he is with a tiny little goods train. I'll give you him, but see if you can guess who the rest are. Well, I'll give you who's on the middle line as well. Oh, are you struggling a bit, Percy? I think he is. Come on, you can do it. Hey, he's done it. There we go. Very well done, Percy. Okay, I'll show you who's on the middle line as well. And I'll give you this one as well. This one's Henry, of course, but I bet you knew that, didn't you? Okay, but see if you can let me know who the rest are in the comments, and don't forget to count the green engines. And there is an odd one out that isn't green, so see if you can figure out which one that is. Oh gosh, there's a lot to do today. I hope you're feeling clever. I'll just let Duck come by again. Quack, 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 quack. Okay, enjoy the running session, folks. There we go. I think Duck and Henry are having a little bit of a race, aren't they? I think Duck's winning though, definitely. Poor Percy's in no fit state to be racing though. I think he's having just enough trouble as it is just getting them to move. But he's doing it. He's very good, is Percy. There goes Duck flying out in the lead. Yeah, he's left old Henry behind. Where are you, Henry? Oh, there he is. Just waiting for Percy to come by again. There he is. Little bit of a goods train. Of course, Percy would rather be pulling the mail if I left it to him, but I think it was important to give him some experience on stuff that isn't mail, so that's why he's pulling that. But I think he looks... Oops, steady on, Percy. I think he looks alright with a goods train though, doesn't he? Not too bad. I wonder if I'll get Duck's eyes moving. Yeah. You could see that, couldn't you? Yeah, it's quite good. Run for your life. I think Iron Bert's trying to scrap somebody. Look at that evil face. Oh, look at little Percy. Never seen him work so hard, have you? And he's got a toad as well, I forgot to mention that. Here are my ratings for Duck then. Detail 3 out of 10. Yes, the detail was particularly low on this one, but I don't count the detail in the score. And again, you know, you don't need a lot of detail. In fact, I think if they put more detail on, it would become a model and not a toy, and that is definitely not what Bachmann are trying to do. Performance, 9 out of 10. He is an absolutely brilliant performer, so good at slow speeds and so good and smooth. He's a little bit on the light side and a tad bit noisy, but apart from that, absolutely brilliant performance. Character then, 10 out of 10. How can you not love that face? I just, you know, I've got to give it 10 out of 10, haven't I, for that face. And again, build quality. He is absolutely solid as a rock. He hasn't got a lot of detail on there, which means that nothing breaks off him. He is absolutely solid as a rock. So 10 out of 10 there. Value, I paid £62 for this, I think I did. That was the very cheapest price I could get, and still for a toy it's quite expensive, isn't it? So not amazing value there. I've given it 6 out of 10, but not too bad nonetheless, not too bad at all. Overall then, 9.11 out of 10, a very high score, probably the highest I've given yet, which ranks him, let's see, 9th, just above the Golden Eagle and below the L1 tank. Now, of course, do I think he's actually a better model than the Golden Eagle? Well, no, but I think he does what he's supposed to do, maybe better than Golden Eagle does. But then again, he's gotten off easy on the detail, hasn't he? So that's probably it. Anyway, enjoy them running, I'll give you a little bit more. Wow, look at him go. We'll have to call this Percy's corner, I think. Oh, look at him struggling. I'm amazed that he does it though, every time he manages it in the end. Henry's slowing down a bit. Oh. 10 guesses why. Okay folks, well that's just about it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed seeing Duck, of course. I'm hoping Duck's going to appear in the shot again in just a second. If you did like the video, please feel free to leave it a comment or even a like, just because that really does help me out and it is lovely to hear from you all. Also, if you'd like to check out the Facebook or the Twitter pages, please do. Those are at facebook.com/samstrains or twitter.com/samstrains. And don't forget, if you've got any loco trouble and you'd like to send one in to me for repairs, please do look me up on eBay or send me an email to samstrains@outlook.com. I will show you the Wall of Fame. Whoop, let me turn you around. Here we go, this is the Wall of Fame, of course. The thing is, it's a little bit too big to show every single picture all in one go, but if you can see yours, well done. If you'd like to have yours put up there, just email me a picture to samstrains@outlook.com and I'll print it out and put that up. But for now, I think that's it. Don't forget to answer the poll, by the way, to tell me how many engines you spotted, including Duck, Henry and Percy, and we'll see who gets that right. But for now, folks, thank you very much for watching once again, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, everybody.